Hello, my name is Matthias Cavodi. I'd like to welcome you guys to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the end of Dan Slott's run on the Mighty Avengers. It actually ended the series itself. And sadly, it ends with a not so good story. At least it didn't work for me. Even though on paper it should have been an epic ending. We have Hank Pym going up against Voltron. And at least for me, the story just was meh. I didn't like it. And also, there's one thing that really bothered me about this story was it was a shameless tie-in into the Siege of Asgard. You can see this is in Spanish, so it's Avengers called Vengadores. But you can see it's established as a tie-in to the Siege of Asgard crossover, second issue too, and it has nothing to do with that story, because the members of the Mighty Avengers, the team had sort of disbanded by this time, and they were popping up in other comic book series, especially in Thunderbolts. That's where we get to see most of the Mighty Avengers fighting against the C-list members of Norman Osborn's Thunderbolts lineup. There, I had a little troubles with my throat, but thing is, we have the return of Voltron, and that's another thing that sort of bothered me about this issue. Like, this came out in 2010, and Voltron was popping up way too much. I love him as a villain, but he's like one of those villains that should be used sparingly, maybe pop up once every 10 or 5 years at most. Back then he was popping up way too often, so it would lose a lot of its punch every time he was being overused. And basically what happens at the beginning of the story is that Ultron is able to hack his way into the Infinity Mansion, and he's actually taking over the minds, or not the minds, sorry, the bodies of this almost infinite amount of Jocosta's drones that were spread across the whole Infinity Mansion to enact vengeance on his father, Hank Pym. While this is going down, Hank Pym is deep into his investigation with his secret plans with the Infinity Mansion. He's visited by these two characters that are part of a secret group called Grandpa, which the Mighty Avengers were actually working for during this time. I don't remember the names of these characters because I read this a couple of weeks ago. So here Hank Pym's sort of finding out about this whole situation that's going to lead into the Siege of Asgard. That's all we're going to get with the Siege of Asgard. Reason, the real deal, Jocasta gets human arms and legs. I don't really understand why or how this actually impacts into the story. So what happens is Voltron takes over the Infinity Mansion, starts wreaking havoc all over the place. Funny thing is, we get like one page to justify the fact that we have a Siege of Asgard tie-in cover here. So it doesn't feel like a shameless cash grab. It just gets me so angry when they do this. Because the good thing is, this crossover doesn't hijack Dan Slott's story. Fantastic. But if I was really interested in reading a crossover to the story, I got nothing of it, or nothing that added to it. The big reveal of the story is that Hank Pym is actually using the Infinity Mansion to try to save Wasp, who's lost in this subspace place. And he comes off as a total asshole to Jocasta, because Jocasta has feelings for Hank Pym. She always has. Her mind's based off Janet Van Dyne's mind. She's always been sort of in love with him. So when she finds out that the whole Infinity Mansion and all her drones were actually part of a neural network to bring back Janet Van Dyne, it really portrays Hank Pym very poorly. Sort of comes off as a selfish asshole in this story, which he can be sometimes. But in this one, like, it really hurts. Like, when I read that, I was like, really? You did that? 2 pages of what was going down in the Thunderbolt series, where the other members of the Mighty Avengers were romping around and battling with the Thunderbolts. So at the end of the story, what happens is Jocasta actually decides to marry Ultron and go off to an unpopulated part of the universe, so a place where Ultron just could go away, not bother anyone. They have a part where Hank Pym weds is the guy that gives them their marital vows, and so that part also felt really weird. At least it didn't work for me. They're tricking Ultron, goes off to the far side of the universe. Jocasta immediately comes back, tells Pym that Ultron went off with one of her drones, that the original Jocasta is going to stay with them. Obviously, she's really angry with the whole situation, what Pym did with her. And sadly, this is how they end this particular series. That was, at least for me, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. But this final story just didn't work. And after this, they would use Ultron again and again and again. He's said, thankfully, they're not doing that anymore. And I do like the creation of Pymtron. I thought that was like an interesting evolution to that character. So, see you guys next time. Hope you guys like this video. Check out Mighty Avengers. Most of that run was pretty cool anyways. So,